Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pit and Paddock Racing Show for part 2 of our Dakar Special Edition. Well, the 2025 Dakar finished this Friday, bringing a tearful end to the holiday season. Let's talk about the results.
Well, I guess we'll start off with bikes. Daniel Saunders from Australia with the KTM team.
Who's almost in bankruptcy.
Really?
Yeah, KTM's going
I
down.
missed that. That's too bad. Well, they got good for them. I
But
guess
they-
the win's not going to help too much.
They won Dakars for like years. They dominated until Brabeck finally brought a Honda in a couple years ago.
Oh. Second place, Scarina?
Green,
The Spanish guy.
Spanish dude. Yeah.
And then third place was some French guy. Okay, Van Beveren, but...
Beveren? Yeah,
French
he
guy.
came in third.
And then, sadly, Mustache House finished sixth, and Brabeck ended up fifth. Fell off a little bit in the second half of the rally there, but oh well.
Not the best year for USA, but hey, they're in the top 5.
Svetko, I believe, finished his 16th straight Dakar as a privateer,
Yeah.
which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, he finished 8th overall. That's pretty good.
That's beat out some factory teams there.
Yeah. Yeah, quite a few.
I probably couldn't just whip up a motorcycle and finish 8th in Dakar.
We only noticed him because he's from Slovakia,
Oh,
and my wife is half Slovakian, so
found someone to root for.
yeah. She's kind of like Trump's wife, but not as rich.
Oh, no.
In the cars, the winner was Al Raji. Wasn't that the tiger on Aladdin?
I think so.
Yeah. A Saudi Arabian driver.
Rigged.
What?
Rigged. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
It was...
In the Toyota. Not a factory Toyota either. He was... He does happen to be a billionaire, and his family owns the biggest bank in Saudi Arabia and steel company and line of cafes and some other stuff. But, I'm sure he didn't pay for anyone else to... I mean, honestly, he did have to drive pretty good to get in there, but...
pretty good driver, I would assume.
One of the 4,200 princes of Saudi Arabia cried at the podium, or at the finish line.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah. South African Ladigan. It sounds like a Limerick name. Which, by the way, ZAF is the abbreviation for South Africa, which why is it not SAF?
I don't know. I did know that.
Did they say South Africa? I don't know why. But anyway, ZAF is South Africa, and that's where Ladigan's from.
Interesting.
Second place in the Toyota. Third place, the Ford Raptor team. Ekstrom from Sweden got on the podium. Good job, Ford, for your first ever Dakar.
Not bad. I was looking for a win for the Raptors, but...
Yeah, not bad. My spotlight would be Guthrie, one of the other factory Ford drivers, finished 5th. Not bad.
It's a good third and fifth. How many factory Fords were in the...
I think we had 4. The other 2 crashed out.
Oh, that's right. Early.
Yeah.
Rough. The SSVs, which are the smaller
Side-by-side? Razors.
The Razors.
Yeah.
That's what I always call them because that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, they're all razors.
From the USA with the Razor, Hager, I finished first, so we did get a win in one category at least.
Go USA.
Finishing second was Contardo from Chile, and Pinto from Portugal.
Is his middle name Cala? It could be Calapinto. Where's Calapinto from? Argentina?
Yes.
Is that the one whose fans threatened to kill people?
No, that was the IndyCar.
Yeah.
Canapino.
Canapino.
Very
Oh,
different
okay.
from Calapinto.
They sound a lot alike.
Yeah, that's true.
Herger was like an hour and a half ahead of everybody else.
His Yeah, I saw that part.
He was so far ahead.
That was a nice, relaxing final stage for him.
Yeah.
I saw his teammate broke on, stage 11? And dropped out of the top 10.
11 out of 12 stages. He was second the whole time, and then it a suspension break?
That sucks.
Yeah.
He just... Ugh.
Both teams owned by Sebastian Loeb.
Really?
Yeah, the famous rally car. He's won like more rally car champions than anyone. But not Dakar. He doesn't win Dakar.
No. Has he run it before? He has to have.
This is like his third, fifth year, Loeb. Like, he's had stage wins, but he hasn't won the Dakar.
It's a tough one. My spotlight for the SSVs is probably Duncan.
The Dunkin' Donuts car?
Yes.
Yeah. Another Saudi driver whose name I forgot to write down. It's Al something something.
Al Saud.
Yeah, it starts with AL, and yeah. Oh yeah, it's got like the pink and orange, you know, the awful Dunkin' Donut colors from the 60s.
Yeah.
That's the Razor's all painted up and says Dunkin'. I love that car.
I always notice that car every time I was on the screen.
Yeah, you can't let all the other cars kind of blend together, but the Dunkin' Donuts car really sticks out.
I think the ones I notice more are the trucks and the classics. They're the ones that stand out from.
I love the classics. Well, my favorite category, the big trucks, was won by a bunch of northeastern Europeans that we've never heard of. Darth Makic from Czechoslovakia won it. Vanden Brink from Netherlands second, and Lopreas, I don't know, another Czech round out the podium. My spotlight would be on Groot from the Netherlands in 7th place.
His name is Groot.
His name is literally Groot. I wanted them to interview him and hear him say, I am Groot over and over again. But
how was the car out there today? Yeah. I am Groot.
Oh, really? So it was tough. What are you looking for tomorrow? I am Groot. Yeah, unfortunately, it never happened.
My second favorite is the classic cars.
I love the classics.
Finishing first was Santiago Lala. Is that his name? I don't know. I can't.
There's actually a whole other word in his name, but I couldn't write that many letters.
I can't do the Spanish.
Yeah.
He was in the Nissan that feels like it shouldn't be a classic car, but it is a classic car.
Wasn't like a 2000s Nissan or something?
Like a 2001 Nissan something. And
it doesn't feel that classic.
Draglio, also in the Nissan from Lithuania. God, that's not a classic. And then my favorite, the Porsche.
Yes.
With Staniszewski from, shockingly, Poland. But is that was he in the Golf Porsche? Or the other one? He wasn't in
the Hoffman's one. It was the Golf one. Yeah. How many Polacks does it take to win a classic Dakar?
Just one. The highlight was it the second to last stage when they did the little couple minute flashback in the middle of the episode about the Vespas that ran in the 1980 Dakar rally?
Literal Vespa team
Vespa
in the
scooters
Dakar.
Actually running in the rally.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like if they actually ran the Segways in this rally. That's what it would look like.
The Vespas actually didn't do too bad in 1980. Like, I don't know, they boosted them up somehow. And
did they get a motorcycle and paint Vespa on it? That must have been what they did.
Though the thing about the classic category is everybody else is speed, right? Or time. How fast did you get from A to B? For the classics, they have some weird point system that, I don't know, you like whoever has the least points at the end wins, and I'm like, only the French could create such a confusing point system for a race.
Probably because it's too difficult to get those cars even somehow. Sort of like dirt track racing when they do the passing points on the big races like that.
I'm first. Yeah, but you didn't pass enough people, so you're second. Sorry.
Yeah, too bad.
Yeah, it's just not very race I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. It's easier to learn French than it is to learn the point system that the French created for classic series.
Well, at least you get to see the cars running out there. It's
Yeah, I do. But everybody loves that Hoffman. Is it Hoffman? Hoffman. Rothman.
yeah, the Porsche.
Rothman Porsche. That's it. So some dude at Porsche back in the 80s is like, we could totally win that race. Dude, we have street cars. Yeah, just jack it up and put some tires on it. Let's go.
Lift it up. Put the off-road tires on it. Good to go.
Good to go. It's got a great motor. And they won one year, didn't they? 80 something. Yeah, actually did pretty well.
Some of the highlights, I think. Well, or lowlights, in my opinion. Stage 11, when they had the fog roll in and they had to cut short the dunes period.
Did they cut it in half? The distance?
I think they did I think it was in half. The dune experts were not happy.
Yeah, I saw Van Beveren running around yelling, "Is this a Dakar? Is this not a Dakar?" Something like that, and then some French words and
Some
"Vive la Dakar" or something. I don't know what he said.
I say run it in the fog. That's part of Dakar.
Yeah, that's just go. Europeans run in the rain. Why not run in the fog? But yeah, so the people that were really upset were the people that were really good in the dunes and were thinking they were going to make up some time. And yeah, with half a race, they couldn't make up as much.
Not today.
There was no Mr. Dakar, Petter Hansel, in this race. He was missing. I thought maybe he had a stroke or something, but it turns out he just he wasn't in the race. Couldn't get a sponsor or something.
No. I don't know. Maybe I think they gave his position to a Syrian man who identifies as a hermaphrodite camel, just to be equity.
DEI position.
Yeah, that's right. The executive order didn't
get out in
expand to
time.
Dakar. No, it did not get out in time.
No.
This was before. The big names, Signs and Lowe, were out early. Was that the first stage when they?
Second maybe or third? It was really early. They both went out.
Second when they rolled it.
They
rolled it early, and then they tried to limp it along as far as possible, but they didn't last long.
Yeah, the French officials came in and said that their roll cages were compromised,
right.
and they couldn't continue. So too bad.
And they said, "Stop being wussy Frenchmen and let us race."
Yeah, Sainz was particularly unhappy about the ruling. I'm like, weld it up. What's the problem?
Just tack them over.
You got like
It's fine.
a huge team. Fix that car. But nope, they're up.
Bring in the backup.
Yeah, they don't have backups, do they?
I don't think they can.
They have a lot of parts, but no, they can't bring an actual backup car. Ford did surprisingly well for their very first Dakar, 3rd and 5th, so I was impressed.
Pretty good for a brand new team.
Yeah, usually it takes those teams 2 years to really get rolling and get on the podium, but Ford did it first shot. I wish it would have been Guthrie, the American driver, but still.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, well. Maybe next year. There was no Austin Jones in the SSV class this year, which was very disappointing.
I still don't know what happened to Austin Jones. He's lives in Litchfield Park, not far from us.
Can we just go ask him?
Yeah. Where's his house at? Let's drive over. Yeah, I haven't been able to find any info on, like, did he not have a sponsor? I don't know. He was on a team last year, and he did really well, and he's won the side-by-side. So I don't know what happened.
That's too bad. Well, hopefully next year. Actually, I heard Trump was going to be buying the Dakar Rally and renaming it the Mar-a-Lago to Greenland.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be a good rally.
Yeah.
Could you make it all the way?
I think it's going to start at the Gulf of America.
Gulf of America.
And go all the way to Greenland.
Can you make it all the way on land to Greenland? Like, you can go through Canada, but is there a land bridge between Canada and Greenland? Or
there will be. We're going to build one. It's going to be the best land bridge you've seen. It's going to be
beautiful land bridge. Best maybe ever. On to Formula One?
On to Formula One news. Some good news now, for a change. Spa will be on the calendar through 2031. They signed a new deal. The bad news is that 2028 and 2030, the race will be rotated out to some third world dictatorship that pays the most money to the FIA. Maybe it'll be, Ukraine, since they have all the Europe's money now.
Oh yeah, they got plenty of cash from Europe. They could afford an F1 race.
Kiev Grand Prix. It'll be fun.
Sponsored by oh man, I ruined the joke. Who was the oligarch company that was Haas's sponsor for a while and then they got booted?
The Russian.
Yeah, sponsored by some Russian oligarch company.
Sponsored by Raytheon. It's a very sad day for jokes, as Aston Martin have sacked Mike Crack as the team principal. On a positive note, there will be a lot fewer mentions of Mike Crack on the air.
I heard they're going to replace him with Michael Hunt. Yeah, no more. Is Mike Crack in the garage? Paging Mike Crack.
Does anyone see Mike Crack? Mike Crack is now going to be the chief trackside officer, is what Aston Martin said. He's going to be directly overseeing a top-level team of engineers that include Tess T. Coles, Hugh Jass, and Seymour Butts is his
driver.
Crack team of engineers there.
In other news, Franco Colapinto will be the Alpine reserve driver.
Condolences to him.
Yeah. Sorry, Franco. There's not going to be a lot of Brazilian Grand Prix in the future of Alpine.
He went from possible Ferrari consideration to like 3 crashes, big crashes in a row. Now you're Alpine reserve.
Oops. Yeah, from Williams's super sub to reserve for Alpine.
Well, coming up next, still the Australian Grand Prix in, I don't know, too long.
March?
Ugh.
Yeah, we're still 2 months out from Formula One.
God. Moving on to some NASCAR news. They have announced their rule changes for the 2025 season. That's this year.
Oh dear.
NASCAR rules is always my favorite. Oh.
No smoking in the car.
Boo. We'll start off with the open exemption provisional. This is, so if you're not a regular NASCAR driver and NASCAR decides that you're famous, they're going to add an extra starting spot to the grid for you to be in the race without qualifying.
So if you're like a celebrity driver, you can make it in? Pretty
much.
Oh, yeah, because bringing in celebrities did really well for Kamala Harris in the election.
That's where all that money went.
Yeah. Only $1 billion that they spent. But hey, it was spent locally in America, so,
Oh, great. Helio Castroneves has already been granted the waiver. If he doesn't qualify, he'll still be in the race, so good for him.
You know what? The only person with any shot at winning the Triple Crown is Fernando Alonso.
Does he? Yeah, probably. No one else can go run F1 now because it's...
Yeah. How are you going to win Monaco?
Unless Montoya wants to come run stock car at Daytona every year. And what is he, 50 now or something?
Oh, yeah. 50 and not exactly fit.
Well, he's in stock car shape.
Oh, yeah, that's true, huh?
He's in NASCAR shape.
It's not a big weight limit on stock cars.
He did run the road course at... Did he run at Indy? He ran a race last year somewhere.
Wait, did he win the Indy 500?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, he could... he's got a shot. He could do Daytona.
I think he would have a better shot than Alonso because he's run NASCAR for a few years.
Yeah, if I were him, I'd be entering every Daytona 500 trying to... I mean, who's got that Triple Crown? Like a couple British dudes from the 50s, maybe?
I don't even... I don't know if anyone's won those 3 races.
Yeah. We'll have to look that up. We'll get some fact checkers on it. I hear they could use a job.
Meta got rid of theirs.
Yeah, there's some meta fact checkers that'll look into that for us.
The stupid damaged vehicle policy, they've changed it a little bit. Still only 7 minutes for repairs, but you can get your car towed to the garage and work on it. Where before, the ridiculous rule was that, if you get a flat tire or whatever and the car tows you, your car's out of the race. That was
so you can come back. You're
Yeah.
just going to be laps down.
Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, that was stupid. If the car tows you for any reason, you're out. That was dumb.
I would take that bet if it's a restrictor plate track, because there's always a shot that half the field gets crashed out.
You could just mess around at the back going
Yeah.
at like slow speed, and then at the end, last lap, 40 cars crash, and you
Yeah.
finish the top 10.
You might get some points anyway. So
That's what everyone's thinking.
yeah.
The Kyle Larson rule: if you miss a race for a non-health or emergency reason, you lose all your extra playoff points for the season.
Yeah, they really don't want him to run the Indy 500, do they?
They really don't want him to skip the Coke 600 for the Indy 500.
You could just do half the Coke 600, and that's still a pretty decent race.
If you get there late, which he got there, but they canceled the race when he got there. Like, as long as he gets in the car, he still would have got the points for it, and still would have been a start.
Yeah.
But whatever, NASCAR. They put in a penalty system for manufacturers, so we can't have that ridiculous Martinsville situation with team orders and cars slowing down and all sorts of shenanigans like that.
That's strategy. They should be able to do that. What's wrong with team orders?
It's weird when there's 10 cars on driving the same team and they're all slowing down and stopping on the last lap.
What? That's racing.
Is it?
Should have done better the previous week. In other news, NASCAR rejected Wallace's request to race in Daytona. The 60-year-old was deemed to not have enough recent experience. In related news, Walmart rejected former President Biden's request to ride a hover-round in their store. So,
That sounds dangerous anyways.
yeah.
Guess that's it for NASCAR. NASCAR coming up a lot sooner, February 2nd, with the Cookout Clash at Bowman Gray.
Is that a points race?
Nope.
Oh.
That's an exhibition, but it's something to watch.
It's like the friendly version, or the NASCAR version of a friendly.
Yeah, a little friendly. A little warm-up. Well, it's the middle of the IndyCar off-season, so it's time for the annual IndyCar is talking with multiple engine manufacturers, and it's totally close to happening this time, guys. I swear. Stories. They're totally going to get a third one.
Yeah,
Just you wait for it. It's coming.
You know what? So Ford, you can spend all that money to get into Dakar, but you can't do another IndyCar engine.
It's a near spec engine for IndyCar. Like
They had one of the best engines for open wheel cars, back right before the split, or right after the split, the Cosworth. Yeah, Cosworth, great engines. I don't know why Ford's not interested.
I know. That's someone, and IndyCar is not. It can't be as much as Dakar. Well, Dakar's a one-off type. It's probably a lot more than Dakar, but still.
I mean, well, the Razor, the Ford, not Razor,
Raptor
team did some other races before Dakar to kind of get warmed up and stuff. So, yeah, Ford needs to jump in. I loved it when it was Ford and Chevy. It's definitely not going to be Dodge because they're also hovering close to bankruptcy.
Yeah.
IndyCar driver Roman Grosjean has been hired as Prima's reserve driver. I didn't even know they had reserve drivers in IndyCar.
First I've ever heard of a reserve driver in IndyCar.
Sources say that he's going to be considered the Vichy driver for French team, which
would have a Vichy driver.
It's a history joke.
Will Buxton and James Hinchcliffe will be in the booth for Fox. Hopefully Hinchcliffe performs a little better in the booth than he did in the car this time.
So it's going to be Will Buxom, which I'm actually surprised he left Formula One, but okay. I think they must have offered him some money.
Formula One, he was kind of like a rotating crew.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to be booth every weekend.
Yeah, that's true. So it'll be Buxom, Hinchcliffe, and Townsend Bell. So basically all white dudes. Oh, Fox must have got the DEI executive order from Trump.
Did get the executive order in time.
They heard it was coming.
They got a leak.
Yeah. Speaking of Townsend Bell, he lost 2 homes in the California fires. He owns like 4 houses in Malibu.
Does he live in all, or probably rents?
He lives in one. He rents 3 of them out. 2 of them got burned.
Oh, that's terrible news for him.
Or yeah, 2 were destroyed completely, and 1 was heavily smoke damaged. But he said that they had evacuated, and then he remembered he was driving in some sports car race, so he had to get back and get his helmet and his fire suit and his gloves and everything that was in one of the houses that was close to the fire. And he couldn't get there, so he rented a scooter and drove the scooter through the barricades, got to his house, got his helmet.
I would have put the fire suit on to escape.
Yeah.
A little safer.
Yeah.
The gloves.
But yeah, he got his stuff out, and I don't think he lost anything. Well, the house he was living in just got smoke damage, so.
Okay. Well,
it didn't burn anyway.
Still a pretty terrible situation there.
We actually know somebody whose house burned down in the Malibu fires. She had a house, not one of the ones right on the beach, but how there would be beach, row of houses, then a road, and then a hill with some more houses. She had one of the houses on the hill right there. The art teacher that my wife worked with, her grandfather was a director in Hollywood. He won an Oscar, 2 Oscars for 50s and 60s movies that we've never heard of, but so yeah, that was one of the she inherited 6 houses from him from when her dad died. One of them's my wife's been to one of them. It's an actual Crusader tower in France.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah,
I want a Crusader tower.
I know. I'm like, don't sell that one. I want to go stay there. And my wife's like, there's mustard fields nearby. My allergies almost killed me. Well, I don't have allergies. So.
That sounds like fun.
We can go to the Crusader. We can do a show out of the Crusader Tower.
Crusader Tower. I love it.
What's cooler than a Crusader Tower for your house, though? She said there's a really wide ramp around the outside so they could ride their horses up.
Oh, man. You shout obscenities down at nights riding by?
I fart in your general direction.
Anyways, it was announced last week that the Venue Sports streaming service was canceled before it even existed. So there will be no streaming option for IndyCar.
What, was that the 3 that we're going to combine and do a big sports thing?
Yeah.
That wasn't the one that Fox sued and then tried to buy?
They did. Who bought? Someone bought. Yeah, they still bought them, but then someone else said we're going to sue, and they just went, you know what, never mind, we're going to shut it down. So,
money well spent.
All done.
Sounds like a government program.
But you could still get your old rabbit ears out and watch the races if you have that. Or, better yet, you can borrow your grandmother's old VCR, record over some old family VHS tapes. Just set it to record on
kids'
Sunday.
graduation.
Yeah. Kids' graduation. Just set it for Sunday at 2 p.m. 2.5 hours. Set it to record, and there you go. 90s DVR.
What? Yeah. Don't record over your wedding, because that will never go well.
No one's ever actually going to watch it again, so...
Does anyone ever go back and rewatch their wedding?
No.
Does anyone ever go back and look at all the wedding pictures that you spent $5,000 on? No.
No. No.
So IndyCar is going to have a driver's eye camera, like Formula One does, where it's in the helmet, embedded, little tiny camera embedded in the helmet. Like that, so you can see their view.
That's pretty cool.
It is, yeah. Our sources say Newgarden's camera will be sponsored by OnlyFans.
Oh, I'm sure all the ladies will enjoy that.
Yeah.
And some of the guys.
Yeah. But they don't have a department anymore.
No. Right out. I heard Fox is going to be using a lot of drone cameras to cover the races this year.
Like, is that that's what they've been testing over New Jersey?
Yes. Fox has been testing their drone cameras for the IndyCar coverage.
Over military bases and airports.
That was... Trump just announced it in his press conference. That's what it was.
Oh, okay. Well, they need some practice.
Other news. Last weekend was the Chili Bowl, which Kyle Larson won for the third time, which is not a record, but that's pretty good. In the main event, he crashed about 3 times. He ran up the wall, hit a couple people, still managed to win the race. I only saw highlights. I'm sure it was a great race, but I don't have the extra money to be spending on Flow Racing, so I didn't quite catch the whole thing. I'm sure it was exciting, though.
So make sure you click the subscribe button so that we can afford to get all the streaming services and bring better news.
It's a business expense sometime down the line.
Yeah. I did see one of his, like the C main or something, because it was spread over like 3 days, wasn't it?
They started Monday with the main, like the Q main, like all the way. There were 300 plus midget cars entered in it.
Oh, wow.
It's a full week.
I saw one of the mains where Larson came from 5th maybe to win, and only because they had a restart and he beat some guy after restart pretty well, like with 2 laps to go.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty good. I saw Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch was in it, Catherine Legg, Santino Ferrucci, some of the other racing names that were out there.
You have to say it like Burton. Santino Ferrucci. I love that name.
Who was it? Oh, it was Dale. Dale Jr. was doing the Indy 500, and he seemed to enjoy saying Santino Ferrucci.
Everybody enjoys saying Santino Ferrucci.
We've got some more racing coming up this weekend. The 24 Hours of Daytona. There's quite a few notable entries from some other series. We got the 91 Corvette with Scott McLaughlin, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Connor Zilic. Austin
Zilic. Is he the Jewish kid?
I don't know. He's he's like the 18-year-old NASCAR driver that's supposed to be good.
I'm thinking of the IndyCar driver. Okay.
Oh. Austin Cindric from NASCAR is going to be in the a Mustang GTD Pro class. We've got Kamui Kobayashi back in the Cadillac.
Cat Eyes?
Yep.
I remember him.
He's raced forever. Also a superstar NASCAR driver now. Kamui Kobayashi is. Felipe Massa.
Felipe Massa. You gotta say it like drunk English.
Felipe is in the 74 LMP2 car. And we got Jack Hawksworth and Kyle Kirkwood in the number 12 Lexus GTD are some of the notable racing names.
Wait, does NASCAR still have a car in this one? I read that they're getting serious now.
No, that was the one-off at Le Mans a few years ago.
Oh, okay. So, did you watch the first ever 12-team college football playoffs? Of course you did. Arizona State was in it.
I did watch some of it, and then I got mad and stopped watching it at a certain point. I did watch some of the game last night, the final. I actually forgot it was on until like 10 minutes before it started. It kind of got lost in the whole NFL playoffs inauguration shuffle of everything going on.
Martin Luther King.
Yeah, and that was a busy day, and I was like, oh, playoffs are on. But the game was okay, I guess.
I'm not allowed to watch that game because my wife went to Michigan. So the best outcome would have been Ohio State got so humiliated that we can't believe they made it that far, which didn't happen. I was going to watch the highlights, and then I accidentally saw the score in the news. So
it was... I saw Ohio State got a big lead early, and Notre Dame started to come back, and I was like, oh, here we go. Nope.
Once again, Notre Dame outclassed in a championship game?
Yes, that is pretty standard.
Yeah. What championship was it that Notre Dame, back when it was still, they only had 2 guys and Notre Dame made it in and everybody's all excited and they got humiliated in the first quarter.
Alabama, and it was like 50-0 or something.
Yeah, like it was ridiculous.
60-7.
Like the whole time I'm going, there's no way Notre Dame should be in this game because they always get like a 4-point bump just because they're Notre Dame. And yeah.
The playoffs helped that, though. Like, I mean, you got to win games to get through it now this time.
Yeah.
And they did.
I was hopeful. I'm like, well, maybe they got a team. But no, they did not have a team.
And Ohio State messed around during the season, and they brought their A game to the playoffs, I guess.
Yeah. The only consolation is I can go into Wikipedia and where it says 2025 national champion Ohio State, I can put an asterisk, but didn't beat Michigan. So
They also lost to Oregon once.
Yeah.
But not the second time.
That was probably the most disappointing game, was seeing them lose to Oregon, or seeing them beat Oregon that badly. Like,
jeez.
Oregon was like they forgot how to play football.
That was bad.
Yeah, that was bad. But they still lost to Michigan. So yeah. That's what a lot of fans are like. Fire him. He won the championship. The coach. Fire the coach. But yeah, but he didn't beat Michigan for 4 years in a row.
But the championship.
Whatever. In Ohio, all they care about is Michigan.
Anything else happen?
I've heard there's a new president in town.
That's right, there is.
And he signed some executive orders, a couple.
3,000, I believe.
3,000 executive orders?
I don't know. But there was a lot.
More than 100.
I saw he sat down in a stadium and was just, doing commentary while he signed them. It was pretty funny.
He's signing orders while he's doing his inauguration speech.
Oh, good times.
There were just way too many Biden jokes because he's an easy target. Poor old dude. Well, the best one I saw was the Babylonian Bee. White House brings in cleaning crew to get rid of the old man smell.
God, his staff dragging him all around.
On a serious note, the Speaker of the House said he couldn't get a meeting. Like, this was 2 years ago, and he couldn't get a meeting with Biden, and finally he got one, and Biden can remember half the stuff that he did. Oh, that's one day when, like, 50 years down the road, when people don't care about whose side was on, we'll find out all the true stuff about what happened in there.
Also good news, I've been issued a pardon preemptively for anything that happens in the next 12 months, so...
Mine goes back to 2014.
Oh.
Just in case I was involved in any gain-of-function research.
Oh, good. Good news.
I'm also pardoned for my first marriage.
Finally.
Yeah. Second marriages, we always choose so much better than the first one. Especially when you're like 20-something. You're just not smart when you're 20-something trying to pick a spouse.
I assume not.
Yeah. I tell young guys, I'm like, you know what? Go to church. Let the old church woman pick a wife for you. You'll do a lot better than what you'll pick. Trust me. Well, that's it for today's special Dakar edition. I'm sure we'll have another one next year after the 2026 Dakar.
Yep.
But at the end of Dakar, the holiday season is officially over, and we have to go back to the dreary of regular life. But hey, the weather's great right now if you're in the Phoenix area.
Yeah, that's about the only place in the country.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're having freezes down south, aren't they?
Yeah. Snow everywhere. Florida.
No snow around northern Arizona. Usually we have a good, 10 inches or so by now, and there's been no... We're in a real dry spell. Well, as California found out.
They did.